Want to build a 90-foot tall building on a single-family lot? The Austin Planning Commission has a deal for you. Right now, they are rubber stamping these applications so developers can maximize their profits. Think I'm kidding? Let's hear how it all went down.
This will show you actually what a 75-foot building would look like in that neighborhood. And these are the 3 houses that are proposed to be bulldozed, that they have admitted are affordable housing, and people have been living in them since I've lived in the area since 2016.
There are some very affordable housing in this area, but they're very affordable because they're in very poor condition.
There's a word for that. I just can't think of it right now.
They indicated that the property's owner did not wish at this time to invest in making even tentative plans available for the development. We're a bit puzzled because the neighborhood association would be happy to work with owners to support property development that is compatible with the neighborhood's long-term development. But it looks like in this case, the request is purely speculative with the intention of increasing the property value for sale instead of doing an actual development that would benefit the city or the neighborhood.
Okay, we're talking about bulldozing affordable houses for a developer who has no building plans but wants to maximize the zoning so they can maximize their profits. And taxpayers will need to pay for improvements to the area to make this work. But hey, they're concerned about our safety.
Can you talk a little bit about sort of the traffic, what that might look like, or the mitigation? Like, what are sort of thoughts behind sort of management of traffic on the street?
Well,
in regards to what's going to happen with traffic on out of this project, it's going to have basically surface parking with the commercial out front and the units above. So there's not going to be like a tremendous amount of parking on the property. There'll be adequate parking for the units and such. Is the access going to be to 44th or Red River? I think that's still undetermined. My opinion, it should be out to 44th Street. There's going to be some right-of-way dedication. There's going to be pedestrian improvements that are going to be required along the streetscape, and as well as along 45th Street as well in front of the property. So I don't know if that particularly answers your questions, but we haven't gotten into full site design on this at all.
in terms of activity, the bus stop, the pedestrians, the cyclists, all of those things help to slow traffic down. The more things you have going on, the slower vehicles drive. I'm not saying that that's a consistent thing all of the time, but research does show that when you have people and cars parking on the street, it organically has cars slowing down because you can't see what's coming, you can't see what's going. So that is something that would actually benefit this area.
25, 27, 30 units, that won't make a noticeable difference in traffic. Even if every unit had 2 people living in it, each of whom had their own car and they all parked on the street, it wouldn't even fill up that whole length of 44th Street, 50, 60 cars. And as the applicant pointed out, street parking actually improves safety in many cases, especially on neighborhood streets.
You know, we're not even talking about a big building here. We're talking a couple dozen units.
I can't say that this is making me feel a whole lot better.
It feels like we've been pretty, I don't want to say permissive, but we've certainly approved several DB90 cases that might have some similar characteristics, maybe on the other side of I-35.
And no, you have not approved anything like this. This project would set a precedent.
Seems like all we care about is yield. That's the only discussion we seem to have is yield, yield, yield. And if yield in units is the only thing that matters, why even have zoning? What's the point of even doing all of this? And we have one commissioner nodding, who would support not having zoning at all. And so I just hope that the public understands where this commission is at on this thought process. And I feel like a huge chunk of the Austin citizenry, especially all those evil people that live in single family homes, just don't have a voice. Pretty much all of the subdivisions, all of the neighborhoods in central Austin have busy streets and they have bus lines that go through them. And so if those are the 2 reasons why we're thinking DB90 is appropriate in this SF3 zoned multi-block area, then pretty much all the lots within North University, Hyde Park, North Loop, Brentwood, Crestwood, my neighborhood of South Allendale, Oakmont Heights, the rest of Allendale, all of those lots that are zoned SF3 or SF2, this commission is saying DB90 is perfectly fine. If that's what we're saying, then we just need to be very, very open and frank about it And I honestly feel like the majority of the Austin population would not agree. We should not be supporting DB90 in this location.
The Planning Commission voted in favor of the developer. City Council will be hearing this rezoning request in March. If you want a voice, now is the time to act. Contact your representative on City Council today.